Thanks for choosing Hunter Design Company. Today I'm going to show you how to do an install on one of our floating shelves. Let's dig right in.
First, you'll need the following items: a drill with a drywall bit, a Phillips head screwdriver, a countersink bit, a stud finder and or a neodymium magnet, and a pencil.
As you can see, each shelf comes in two separate pieces. There is the floating shelf bracket and the floating shelf itself. Firstly, we're going to focus on the bracket. We designed our shelves to be able to be put on any space in any wall. So what you're going to need to do first is grab a stud finder or a neodymium magnet. If you have one of these, they're super handy, they're easy to find a stud. It'll find a screw that's already in your drywall, and then you'll know that you have a stud right there. Or, if you choose, you can use a stud finder to come to the same conclusion. Once you find your stud, take a pencil and mark it down. Now you can see where your two stud markings are on your wall. Then you can take your bracket and line them up with those studs. So now we can see that we have space on the bracket itself to drill our screws in to the stud. If you don't have studs, or they're not in the correct place for your shelving, what you can do is secure one portion of the bracket to a stud, and then the other portion, if it doesn't reach the other stud part, you can use a drywall anchor, not provided with the floating shelves. The next step you're going to want to do is take your drill, and you're going to want to, and this is where two people would really come in handy, but what you want to do is you'll want to put your bracket up, make sure that it's level with a leveler, and then you'll want to drill through the actual bracket and into the wall itself. Once you've done that for both studs, you can then insert your screws directly into the bracket and into the wall on both sides. At this point, you'll then have your bracket attached to the wall, and all you'll need to do is line your holes up with the brackets and insert the shelf onto the wall. One thing we do highly recommend, which will make your install go a lot easier, is when you're installing the screws through the bracket, use a countersink bit to countersink a little bit in the bracket so that your screw will be below the flush mount. This will keep a nice tight seal between the shelf and the bracket. Then the final feature of our floating shelves is this tiny screw that you have on the bottom of your shelf. Simply take a screwdriver, not a drill, but a screwdriver, and hand screw these in to the bottom of the shelf. These will lock the bracket into the shelf. These aren't 100% necessary, however, if you do put something heavy on this shelf, this will help secure the shelf to the bracket itself. Thanks again for purchasing your Hunter Design Company floating shelf, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Thanks.